Greetings and welcome to Channel Other Doc. I am Jim, your friendly Lacuna GM, and I use he/him pronouns. And this is our Invisible Sun campaign, The Edge of Paradox. Invisible Sun is a surreal slice of life game by Monte Cook Games. We are integrating the directed campaign, but most of this game happens spontaneously. Let me do that thing that I often forget to do, and check to make sure that my that everyone will be able to be heard by selecting the correct device. There we go. Okay. Excellent. Okay. Good. Did that ahead of time this time. Awesome. And by ahead of time, I don't mean ahead of time. Hi. How's it going? Let's go around and say hello to our Vislay and see how they're doing. Djinnaya, hello.
Hello. My name is Djinnaya. I use she, her pronouns, and I am playing Shah Gamelon, an established gallant of the Order of Makers who cages adversaries. Shah Gamelon uses she, her pronouns.
Awesome. Now let's head over to Wilde. Hello.
Yes, hello. I'm Wilde Engineer, he, they pronouns, and I am playing Shantano, they, them pronouns. They are an itinerant empath of the apostate who splinters into fragments.
And now over to Arras. Hello.
Hello. I am Arras or Animus Panthera, and I am playing Aroshka Ruzik, aromatic empath apostate who converses with everything, and both of us use she, her pronouns.
And finally over to Anino. Hello.
Hi, my name is Anino. I use he, him pronouns, and my character is Mac the Husk, the itinerant enthusiastic of the Order of the Goetica, provides a vessel for spirits, and they use they, them pronouns. It's all downhill from here.
Yes, that's right. You know, when you're on this channel, it's always there. There's only downhill on this channel. Awesome. Well, before we get into the swing of things once again, just as a reminder, like we do with most games on this channel, we are going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, or make an X symbol, and we will back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat, and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil. So it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think maybe that might have been a little too much. Then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. Now, my God, what happened? So I believe last time there was an attempt made to begin investigating the disappearance of the foreman. They went to the night circus, which is on the same open field that the World's Fair was held, but on the south end of that field rather than the north end. They had to go through an archway to activate it. There were tents, but you can only actually see the stuff going on if you go in. You go in and it's nighttime. I believe that they were drawn for some reason or another to the tent of a magician. And there were a couple of experiences to be had inside the tent where Shantano got to see one of their former selves. This is all sort of dressed up as part of the magician's act. Was subsequently, in finding the way out, basically found their way back to the library where they'd been a little while ago. Which was, in the, up in Silver Hill. It was a little further. It was in another neighborhood entirely. Then also Aroshka managed to recover a weapon that she had designed in her past, but had never actually gotten around to having made, which is kind of a an essence crossbow. It's like a crossbow that flings sort of a net, and you reel the essence back in that the net captures. The essence of a being. It's and then they also terrified a groundhog. That was also a part of it.
Look, I'm sorry.
I mean, the groundhog was part of the act, so there was every reason to suspect. But they captured.
I threw it.
They did manage to capture the essence of the magician that was performing, and I think they haven't yet. They still have it. I think it's a hat that is asking to be worn and will provide power.
Slightly evil top hat.
Yes, just slightly evil.
Only a little bit.
There was also a clown there, a very large clown, that had previously been seen in a kind of a wrestling situation up in the World's Fair, and that was, I think, pretty much everything that happened. They then found out that from the essence of the magician, from the top hat, that Chantineau was over the library. And so they can, if they so desire, go and retrieve them. There is a tiny bit of business that I want to make sure I take care of before we dive completely in, and that is I need to give... last time there was a joy and a despair awarded, and I need to give associated things happening for those. Chantineau got joy that has not yet been explained, and I think Mac is getting despair that is yet to be explained, if I notated this correctly. Roshka also got joy, but I think we explained it. If I did, unless it's the other way around, but I think that's right.
I think I have it as joy. At the moment, I was very happy that worked. I
Okay.
might regret it later, but
Yes.
yeah, it's
Yes,
joy.
indeed. Awesome. I'm going to
I'm
draw
very
some
happy.
cards now, because that's always what happens. What's that, Jim? You didn't have it prepared? No, this isn't a preparation game. My God, no. This is a game all about not being prepared ahead of time. So this is for Chantineau's moment of joy that they're going to be experiencing in the interim here. And it appears that the card that I've drawn for it is the Dangerous Elixir. That sounds very joyful. Its meanings are power, transformation, risk, and consequences. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So Chantineau, I'm going to say that as you found your way back to the library, that in so doing, because you do this constantly, sort of you break apart and you come back together again, exploring new forms, that in so doing you've found some things you can use to replace that piece of yourself that you lost, if you so desire. In finding the way out, and through sort of self-examination, as it were, that led you back to the library, where there was a lot of somewhat interdimensional transitioning going on. You realized it's sort of like, I can grab this thing and weave that into another piece of me that will be take up about the amount of essence that I lost.
Interesting.
So you have that available to you.
Probably do that then.
Now, it's something that you can make out of either there was a certain amount of essence just floating about as you were sort of in transition. So it could be something related to how you now know your way through the night circus. That's a possibility. Or it could be something you come across as soon as you pop into the library. I'll let you decide.
Could it be that let's see, because I reaped myself to break the illusion, right? Could it be that I just stole the same piece from the illusion and put it inside this?
That's perfect. Yes, that's right. It was still there. Because that was a version of you that hadn't lost that piece yet. So yes, that works. That's beautiful. So yeah, it was a transformative experience, which is very, very apt. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do a draw for the. Let me actually. There we go. I'm gonna do a draw for the despair. That is picked up by Mac. Interesting. Okay. Oh. We have the Watcher. This is the Sovereign of Mysteries. I think we might not actually have had this card before. Maybe. Or if we had, it's been a long time. Its meanings are parental figure, sight, alertness, observation, knowledge. The wisdom that comes from taking the time to observe and contemplate before acting cannot be overstated. The Watcher watches. He observes from afar. Assessing and contemplating, he records what he sees and analyzes the data. He remains ever vigilant from his vantage point. Nothing slips by his eternal gaze. The Sovereign of Mysteries, the Watcher is a father figure. He shares his knowledge with those close to him and advises those he deems worthy. In divination, the Watcher card indicates that one must pay close attention. Often the next card turn suggests exactly what they should pay attention to, but other times it is a more general guideline, which is stay alert. The Watcher presages the involvement of a parental or parental figure, or a parent or parental figure, particularly in the context of imparting wisdom or knowledge. It's often considered a positive card for this reason. Ha ha ha. Okay. Yeah. So I think that I think something happened has happened to suggest that to Mac in particular, as this all has been going on, and this is something that let's see, this has to be something very personal for them also. I think that it's kind of like, you know, when you have... So you know what it feels like, because you are trained in this, Mac, when you have a spirit riding with you. It's that feeling like, you know, you have somewhere, like maybe in the back of your head, or you have just sort of this impression, and the only way that usually that ever happens is if you have let the spirit in, typically. But it seems sort of in the climax of what has happened at the night circus, and sort of in the aftermath. Do you ever have this sense, let us say that there is sometimes you ever have this thing where it's like you go into a dark room, you're not sure if maybe there's a bed, maybe there's except from time to time, maybe if you're not the only person who lives in the place, that there might be someone sleeping there. It's sort of one of those things where it's like that there shouldn't be anyone here, but you walk into the room and you get the sense in the darkness that there actually is somebody there. It's like you don't notice until you do something to cause just a very slight shift, or you hear someone breathe out and you absolutely did not expect anyone to be there. So for Mac, this is kind of like that, but as of the feeling like there being a spirit in there. And as soon as you sort of, put the inner eye immediately and you're like, who the hell is this? It flees. But somehow there was a presence, and this is not your familiar. And you're not sure exactly how to categorize it. But you get the sense someone or something was watching kind of from within.
Oh, that's going to sour his mood.
Despair. So, the question then returns, and I guess, do you folks go to fetch Chantineau from the library, or what do you do?
My plan was for us to head over and get Chantineau. I thought that's what we were doing at the end.
I believe that was the plan too.
Cool. So yeah, I think we're all headed to the library. Somehow misplacing Vor along the way.
Was Vor actually with us last
I
time?
don't remember.
I don't think that
maybe
she
not.
was. No.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Yeah. Vor had things that she wanted to take care of. And
It's like, I don't have time for your pesky circus escapades.
Yeah, I know, right?
There's gambling to be done.
That's right. Are you just trying to rescue someone? There's some serious gambling to do.
And she was sloshing champagne all over as she was condemning us. Yeah.
I know. It's terrible. It's terrible.
I don't believe that. Vor would never spill champagne.
No, you're right.
Never.
That would be a terrible waste.
It's an endless flute of champagne. What is...
So?
Don't waste eternity on spillage.
It's true. I mean, there's only so much eternity to go around.
That's right. Yes, that's right. So I think that we're going to, if folks are okay with this, we're going to say that you're kind of, I think we're going to pick up getting into the library unless anyone wants to do something before that.
Good with me.
All right. It is since you had left the night circus. You went back out through the archway, and it's daytime again.
Is it the same daytime?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You estimate you've been in there as long as it felt that you were in there, pretty much.
I just know we have a deadline to get to a city, and so.
Yeah, you've got it. There are a few. You still got a few days before you start having to head down there, and then you'll have time. There's the train line goes down there.
Right.
To Yestervale. The train ride will take a little while, but it's not gonna. Yeah, you're not in danger of that yet. Worrying about that yet. So you get back up to this small library. Shanina, what do they find you doing when when they enter the library?
Probably still more reading.
Are you just like sitting in a chair, like kicked back, legs crossed with a book?
Pretty much. Just like reading about, destruction of the Golden Sun and whatnot, while I had some time on my hands.
I think you probably hear us before you see us then, as like we burst through the doors and are like, shut no, like, and like kind of like the sound of like things being kind of pushed aside as we search through and look for you.
The Lacuna looks up and from behind the desk and just gonna, shh.
Taking my eyes off, I'm like, hey.
This is anticlimactic.
Yeah, I will instantly run over and be like, are you okay? Are you all right? Where did you go? What happened? And like kind of poke at you. Like look at the cracks in your face, see if they're the same.
I don't know. I was in the library and I started reading. I feel better than I did last time.
But you were at the circus with us, and then you were just gone.
Yeah. That happened.
Okay, I'm sorry. I guess that's not a thing. All right. Like, straighten myself up. So we found out where it is in the circus that the foreman is. I'm sorry, I'm being too loud. We found out where it is in the circus that the foreman is. We should go get him.
I want to see if I can get there again. Just like, how far away is the circus?
It's not too far. I mean, if you judge from the library, I mean, you have to. It's like about. Shall we say things in terms of half a mile and risk using real units of measurement? It's about it. It's a number of blocks walk away. Not too far.
Okay. So I was like, wonder if I can just appear places now. Now that I'm just magically went to the library. I bet you I can.
I don't know. I made this thing appear out of nowhere. Maybe. Seems legit.
She holds up this big crossbow-looking thing with what looks like a net attached to it.
I've also acquired an evil hat.
But we don't really know that it's evil. We just know that it was evil, and it's the essence of a thing that it was evil. It's probably evil.
You tried putting it on yet?
No.
We decided that might be bad.
Oh. Well, let me know if you decide to try it. I want to watch.
I don't know. Maybe we should just let Shantano try it.
Shaw just gives Mac this look like, what the hell is wrong with you? I thought we were trying to not encourage our weird, edgy child that we have here.
He's feeling. You see, he looks a little jaded, anyway, which is why he suggested it offhand.
Are you okay?
No, not at all.
Did something happen to you at the circus?
Yeah, I felt a little invaded. Not gonna lie, did not like that one bit.
Oh. Are you okay? Should we not go back?
No, we'll go back. But oh, I guess now I'm starting to understand how you feel about me crashing at your place so much.
No, I understand. I mean, you don't have a home anymore, and I'm very uncomfortable. She'll just like sit down.
The Lacuna, you can see, has actually started wheeling out this tea set, and just sort of wanders over. I was getting some tea. Do you want any?
Oh, yes, please. Do you have anything centering?
I think so. Yes. Let's see. He goes. He sort of looks through this little, and it's weird because this tea set that he's got it over at the desk, right? So he moves back over, and he starts flipping through what looks like a book that's kind of chained to the tea set. And okay. Basically will after just a few moments later, it was like reach what looks like they're reaching into the book, and pulls out this little black teapot, which they will then come over with, on this tray that he comes out with. He just sort of holds it up. Focus tea.
Thank you very much.
Oh, of course. It's a lot of folks study here. They sometimes need it. And he leaves the pot and set with a number of teacups.
Pour some tea. Well, that's very nice. Did any of you know that they serve tea at the library? I thought it was no food and beverages kind of place.
And you see the Lacuna just sort of as they're going away, just sort of turns back. Well, sort of is for most people, but not everyone. Just sort of turns and heads back.
Guess we're library MVP.
So,
There's some sort of reward card. I mean, I feel like this is something that we should collect points for.
I think it might be points from Shatno saving that librarian.
Oh yeah, that
Certain will
happened.
make people view upon you favorably.
Well, drink up.
The tea is very
Surprising
focusing.
no one. Surprising no one. This week on Invisible Sun, it's snack time.
Mac is actually just sitting down, holding the saucer, and his pinky is up as he's sipping out of his cup.
So, yes, this is focus tea. The tea is very focusing. Arushka, are you drinking the tea?
I am drinking the tea. Am I
You
going to
get-
regret that?
You get the distinct sense that you've had this tea before. That's it.
Well, okay then.
Arushka, didn't your friend, the mime, work at the night circus?
Yes, that is totally a thing that I completely forgot about until like 5 minutes ago. But yes, mine
Maybe-
does indeed work there.
Do you think he might be at home and we might be able to get him to help us get into the big top?
We can certainly check. I don't know if he'd be willing to help us, but we can ask. I don't know if he's home, though. His schedule's a little all over the place.
Well, I guess when you work someplace that is nighttime at random times, I guess I can understand that.
So, shall we go and talk? See if the mime is there to talk to?
I think that's a good idea. Mac, Shutna?
Sounds like a
I'm
plan.
always ready.
All right,
Off we go then.
bottoms up.
Anyone who's slamming the tea down, you get sort of that distinct kind of like thing where everything is dialing out. You know those. It's like that. Dag nabbit! I used to know what this is called. It's that dolly shot that sort of pans in while the while the lens is pulling back. They just sort of get it's just sort of very focused for a moment.
Just focus, and you see your eyes, the pupils in your eyes, just dilate.
Yeah. It's just like, that kind of thing happens. And so full of the essence of focus, you rise and head south to the place where the
Pretty sure Shantano's like, okay, I'm pretty sure it's a thing now. And you see him concentrate with the focused tea and violently explode and charge the glass outwards. And he's not there anymore.
I think Shaw actually screams. Like full-on girly screams.
Laguna's like, shh.
I'm sorry, he exploded.
It's okay, they do that.
Mac goes aside to Roshka. She's round a little extra tight today, isn't she?
She's very focused.
I guess we take Shotno at their word and try to head out to the mime and see if Shotno just shows up there.
So I just need to double check. I'm assuming that, Wilde, I'm assuming this is an ability that you've picked up.
Yes, I have a forte ability called Reassemble Elsewhere.
Excellent. Where are you wanting to reassemble?
At the entrance of the circus.
Oh, the entrance of the circus? Okay, so you're just gonna go there. Are you going to wait for the... I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have 10 miles with which I can travel.
Oh, good lord. You're there! Okay. So, for those who can't teleport, you are... you head south. Down back into your neighborhood, your unincorporated neighborhood, and over to the theater. And sort of the sort of theater prop area type deal. I should probably draw a card now. That would be a good idea.
I'm gonna drop off the evil hat.
Oh, where are you going to drop the evil hat off?
I'm going to put it on a shelf that's nowhere near any of my other hats.
So it can't corrupt them.
Yes, lest they get ideas.
I think it's probably a blessing that your things cannot hear each other.
Has the hat said anything to you yet?
Anything to me?
Yes, it did.
You did last time.
Yeah.
I
mean, if you really want, you can also touch the evil hat and find out what it has to say.
I think you were only able to communicate with it because it's what you do. Otherwise, it's just the essence of evil magician.
In hat form. I have to do this. As you're putting the hat down, it will say to you, wait. What if I can offer you something? What if I can offer you something of yours that you really want? Is there anything you've lost? I can help you get it back. I mean, I've lost a great deal of things, but I think I'm good.
What if I could make them reappear?
You know, I did something similar to that just now, and it was cool at the time, and in retrospect, probably not good. I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna go. Don't talk to any of my other stuff.
Curses. So, I have drawn the Eternal Mountain.
Oh, good.
Did we all see what she was doing? Was she just holding the hat and for a brief silent moment?
I think I usually talk to objects out loud.
Yeah, I think you heard what she said.
Oh.
But I mean, I also straight up told you that the evil hat was trying to offer me things. So.
I wonder what that hat would have offered me.
It offered to help me get something that I want. What do you want?
What do I want? Oh. I don't know if I have the time to explain all of that.
Well, at least you know, I guess, what it would have offered you. It's not. I don't think it's mind reading, though. It just suggested that it could get me back something that I lost, which is a safe bet. I've lost many things, so didn't specify.
Can I see the hat?
Sure. Just, it's evil. Don't trust it.
There are many shades and degrees of.
I think Sagan is like, I really
you're
don't
an
recommend
adult. What?
I think Sagan, and this is only Mac who is hearing this. Sagan is so I think is still in your shoulders. Like I really don't recommend listening to that. That's like concentrated. It's not like entirely evil, but it's got a lot of evil in it, and I think that would it's just gonna try to twist you into something you don't want to be. I'm pretty sure.
Suddenly made you the expert on what I want to be.
I mean, I've just seen this happen to people. I'm okay. I mean, you're the boss, but it's also my job to advise, and I'm just telling you that this thing's gonna try to use you. If you try to interact with it.
Such a killjoy.
Well, Roshi's just gonna say, you're an adult, and if you want to touch the evil hat, I won't stop you.
Sagan
That's
immediately
fine.
says, "Yeah, you're an adult, so if you want to touch the evil hat, I'm not going to stop you."
Shaw
There.
says, I'm not going to stop you, but I thought we had agreed that maybe using evil hats was not the best thing to do with evil hats, but that throwing away evil hats was not the best thing to do to evil hats. How did we get to using the hat again? I don't understand.
I think they just wanted to know what the hat was going to offer them. I don't know.
All right. We'll table this for another time. I suddenly see where Shantanu is coming from, though.
About what?
No, nothing. He just folds his arms across his chest and just waits until everyone's ready to go.
Okay. I think Shaw will no longer try to lead the charge out the door at this point. I will just kind of hang back real quiet.
Are we gonna go talk? Was the mime not here? Did we check?
I'm assuming that you that you went in your way, but
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. So we should at least check and see if the mime is here.
you don't hear anything, but I mean, so
means
let's see.
nothing.
I have drawn the Eternal Mountain,
Oh, good.
which is the Four of Visions. Green is up, pale is down. Unchanging, solitude, memory, eternal, long life. Mountain stands alone and unchanging. It always has and it always will. Some find this compelling, others terrifying. The mountain sees all and never forgets what it has seen. Okay. So you head out to the stage area, and you see the mime standing on a box. He's got like one leg up on the box. He's standing in very, very, very tall, doing this off into the distance.
Wait.
The mime does not move.
Oh no. I will approach the mime. The box is on the stage, right?
Yeah.
And I will climb up onto the stage, but I'm going to ignore the stairs and climb up the front of the stage as if I were climbing a mountain.
Okay.
And once I get closer, I'm going to like... Hey. I think the mime is broken.
So the mime is doing that thing. The mime isn't completely. I mean, like he's and he's wearing. So now you're kind of closer. You can see he's wearing like a shawl type thing. Shawl is a wrong word. It's a scarf. It's more of a scarf. He's wearing a scarf and a cap of sorts, and you think that he's basically wearing kind of like explorer's gear right now, but he's like trying not to move. He's like so. Whatever he's doing, you're getting the sense requires being completely still. In some fashion or another. Whoever he's being right now.
I'm gonna come back to everybody else and be like, I don't know what he's doing, but I think he has to be really, really still to do it. Anybody have any ideas what that might be? Because then maybe we can figure out how to make him stop doing it.
It looks like maybe he's standing at attention. Is he like this, or is he like this?
It's the hand is flat. It's like he's looking.
Oh, okay. So he is sheltering his eyes, not standing at attention.
Yeah, he's shading his eyes and standing heroically and shading his eyes.
Anybody have a flashlight? Well, some sort of light?
I probably have something along those lines back, where I live.
Maybe he's doing that thing where he stands still for like a full day. No.
Who does that?
He's pretending to be a statue.
People. I think that's a job that you can have, a living statue.
I think this is some sort of street in San Francisco.
Yeah, he's done the living statue
Not even
thing.
painted silver.
He has done the living
box?
statue thing before. He does. So this could be one of those. Yeah, he is sort of He has kind of his gear up. He hasn't painted himself.
Maybe he's on top of a mountain and he's frozen and needs to be warmed up.
Well, you could put a blanket on him, I suppose.
Is there a stage light anywhere that I could point or aim?
Oh yeah, several.
Okay. Mac is just going to wander over to one and turn it around and point it so that it's just blasting light into the mime's face.
How rude.
So you do that. I think you're trying to you're trying to get the mime to flinch. And
trying to get him to flinch, trying to get him to feel really uncomfortable because I figure that since he's sort of sheltering his eyes, he's trying very hard to block out light that's coming down over his eyes. So if I shone a light upward and underneath his head, it would just be extra obnoxious.
Yeah, so you just move a so you move one of the footlights basically and get it up there and just sort of like and now he's trying really hard. Keep just squinting really. Now.
Well, he's not stuck.
His eyes are watering.
Do you think if this lasts long enough, he'll just break?
I don't think we want to break him.
Shotino breaks all the time.
But
I'm supposed to break.
I don't think I don't want to impinge on your fun, but it doesn't seem like we want to break the mime. The mime did help us get to the gold and back. I don't know what game the mime is playing, though. I'm sorry.
I think he'll be in danger if we just leave him here for a bit.
Well, no, but we did want his help.
After a moment, so you say that, and the mime is like, like, and
Mac is
basically the
polite enough to finally just say, "Oh, there we go," and he's
mime
gonna move
stumbles
them.
back off the box and is now like, and just stumbles, and then stumbles behind a changing screen. Steps out wearing sunglasses.
Smart move, Mr. Mime.
And he's wearing sunglasses and what looks kind of like a leisure suit. And so now he he's sort of stands in the middle of this middle of the stage, and he's like seems to be talking to people that aren't there, and sort of waving at people. And now he's like, and he reaches forward and picks up an invisible object, and he's like, he begins shaking it, and then he throws it. And he's like,
He's playing dice.
Oh, I guess he misses 4.
They did seem like they were really good friends now.
It's true.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry,
taken
Mime.
off.
Vore isn't with us today. But we were hoping you could help us. Another friend of ours who I don't think you've met, I mean, maybe you have, I don't know what you do when I'm not around, is been kidnapped? Yeah, at the night circus where you work. Do you know anything about that? Could you maybe help us retrieve this friend of ours?
If I beat you at a game of dice, will you help us?
he sort of raises the sunglass. I wish I had been saying to grab my sunglasses for this. He's like, he
What
picks
is
up,
this even?
he scoops up something up, and he's like,
I take the invisible dice and I shake them in my hands. And I turn to Aroshka and say, blow on the dice for good luck. And then I roll the invisible dice.
could you roll 2d6 for me?
Slightly less invisible dice.
Slightly less. Got a 1 and a 3.
Okay, let's see.
I don't know how to play craps.
Me neither. So, okay, now you're still in, so that's good. So yeah, you will, it's actually apparently there are a lot of numbers that are okay. It's just a question of not like getting 2, 3, or 12 apparently.
Okay.
So yeah, so you do that, and then he's like, he scoops up the dice, He begins shaking them. He throws them.
Oh no!
And it's like,
Wait,
Could I could I nudge Sagan to cheat those dice?
to
That he-
cheat the invisible dice.
Invisible dice.
he's like, there's. Okay, there's. I don't see anything there, but okay, I'll see if I can figure something out. There's like nothing there, but yeah, okay. He sort of.
Give him a nudge.
Yeah, so
What's with
So,
you and this logic?
the mime picks up the dice again, the dice again, and he's holding them out to you.
I pick them up and I roll them between my hands, and as I do, I kind of click all the metal bits on my fingers together so that they create little sparks
Ooh, nice.
for good luck. And then I don't even look at the invisible table. I just look the mime directly in the eyes and roll the dice.
Oh my god. Okay.
And I don't know. I roll a 3 and a 2.
Okay, so what happens here, I think. So, Mac, I would like you to roll a d10 so we can figure out how effective Sagan is at affecting this die roll, this imaginary die roll. Okay, so.
This is going great.
So, Shaw, you have no idea what you just rolled, but yeah, the mime looks at it and is like, and he very carefully reaches over and is like shoves something toward you.
I reach across the table and I take it and I sort of squish it down, like take it in my arms, like this.
Yeah.
And then I slide the pile closer and closer into smaller and smaller bits, like miming it down to like being a tiny little ball. And I look at him and I go, I win.
Imagine that. Who knew? He's pretty sure that Sagan is just eye rolling at him right now.
Yeah. It's like, I have no idea what I just did.
We need to get into the big top.
I don't think he likes that idea.
I guess that's scary. Do you know a maybe back way into the big top?
You don't have to come with us.
I mean, it would be helpful. You don't know.
And you see that he's just sort of looking at you, sort of like, just sort of like as though trying to estimate. He's sort of like he's trying to, or as though he doesn't know the answer to a question, as he's sort of looking at you, just trying to figure it out.
We're looking for the foreman.
And he sort of gestures back in the direction of, he gestures eastward, and he's like,
Yeah, that guy. Well, we know him, some of us, and we know his mother, who is worried that he's been missing, and we just found out that he got kidnapped by an evil magician that is now a hat at the circus.
On behalf of the Church of Midnight.
Yeah, a hat. Don't touch it. It's evil.
Anyways, without the foreman, this Jenga tower might collapse, so we kind of need to put him back. Or Shaw will be homeless.
We've
I'll
already
have a home. I just won't be able to get into it.
we've already destroyed one home in the recent past. Let's not do that anymore.
And he sort of looks over at Aroshka when you say that, and sort of like,
I'm down to one house. It's this one. There's nothing in this house that I know of that can explode. So that I know of.
Just maybe the hat.
I don't think the hat will explode. I think it's just evil. Okay, maybe the mime has something that will explode. I don't know. A little bit. Okay, well, but it won't be my fault, so it's okay.
This place is anchored to reality, right? Because we learned our lesson about those types of structural puzzles, now didn't we?
he just sort of looks at you curiously, walks over to the proscenium and just sort of knocks on it. Looks it up and down. Shrugs.
So you'll help us then?
Good.
Good. Let's go.
He will go back behind the changing screen. And just will be sort of like... And when he comes out, he's wearing much darker makeup. It's still black and white. It's actually now entirely black and white. And it's very... he looks kind of ghoulish. He's got him. It's sort of like he's now his makeup that has changed with him. Now is sort of looks a little bit monstrous. He has kind of a almost sort of like undead draconic thing going with his makeup. So he looks like he has scales and big nasty looking eyebrows. He's very pale and sort of undead looking.
Yikes. Is that your work outfit?
Do we have to dress like that for the big top, too?
You've given him an idea. He turns and he goes into the next room, goes backstage. And he comes out. Oh my god. So he has kind of what basically are sort of like a number of Halloween costume type deals that he's going to offer you to make you look a little bit more like monsters. If you are interested.
Awesome.
He has makeup and sort of outfits. And it's kind of you get the impression there's kind of it's all very light costume. It's not like it's stuff you'd go out trick-or-treating in. So it's kind of more like, best way I can describe it is like, what if the Momentchance and or Cirque du Soleil did something Halloween themed type deal.
Shaw will grab anything sort of harpy bird oriented.
Oh yeah, yes. There's that. There's a variety of things that you can grab that will look remarkably like what you would like to describe.
Will there be a Teen Wolf inspired look? Like a wolf mask and maybe
Yeah.
a varsity
And the
jacket
hands.
and
Absolutely.
the hands.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
totally.
Big
those
furry
things
hands.
there. Yeah.
Whatever. I'll Mac will just go all in on that.
Didn't you dress up the last time you came to the circus? I'm now remembering.
It's true. That's true. We did.
I've forgotten now what
But
you
not
were.
in costume.
We mostly just dress up fancy,
Yeah.
except for one death cosplay.
Yes.
That's true. That's true. Shantano, are you still dressed as Death right now?
Probably. I don't think I changed yet, but I would change out of that.
Yeah, I kind of figure that you have the ability to sort of be more malleable than anyone when it comes to that, as to what you're wearing. But yeah.
Josh and I was just gonna see if they can find a costume that makes them look normal and not stand out.
Ooh,
This is the scariest thing of all.
the most terrifying thing in the world, a tourist. Actually, it is kind of dangerous for tourists in that area. Do you want
Yeah.
to look like a tourist?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like someone from God, what was it called again? What's the normal world called again?
Shadow?
The gray.
Yeah,
The Gray?
The Gray.
Here's a normal world. Oh, sorry.
Quote unquote.
Normal.
I think Shaw will say, you should be careful. You know, tourists to the night circus often disappear.
Maybe I'll
What if
disappear.
he went as a
to-
caricature of a tourist? Give him a nice floral Hawaiian pattern shirt, put a SLR camera around his neck, and maybe a Panama hat.
Those are all the worst versions. So just a big bulky camera, a Hawaiian shirt,
Oh my god.
a Canadian flag, it's a hat that's pretty much just the American flag.
Gosh.
No, the hat should be like an I Heart NY on it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then an American flag pants, like my hat pants.
Oh.
Definitely pants.
Yes, yes, that'll do something.
And definitely shirts and wearing sandals, because that's what tourists do.
This is true.
A fanny pack.
Oh my god.
I think Shaw will look like she has concerns, but she will just fold her hands and look at the floor.
What is Aroshka dressing up as, dare I ask?
Oh gosh. I don't even know. These are like movie monsters.
They can, yeah. They things reminiscent of things like that. I mean, there's basically any sort of odd costume.
Can I go like Creature from the Black Lagoon?
Totally. Absolutely.
Evil fish person.
Yeah.
Aren't we a motley crew?
Evil
Got a
fish
harpy,
person.
the creature from the Black Lagoon,
I could
Teen
have
Wolf,
actually,
and an
you
American
know,
tourist.
you know what would be funny? Because Aroshka dresses like slightly like new age witchy, mostly because she wants to piss off the Vances. I could just go all out.
You
Be like
could.
a swamp witch.
You could totally do that. Or you could be like a fish person swamp witch, if you wanted to
could.
cross them
Just
together.
go. it's just the swamp outfit, and I find like a pointy witch hat, and I'm just like, boop. It's just to piss people off.
Swamp witch. Excellent. Okay. All right. So now successfully attired in in things that are would be, for the most part, inconspicuous in the night circus. You set off. The funny thing about it being that Shantano actually, well, we'll get to that. There's the thing. So you head off. The mime is now basically still dressed basically as like a dragon person, undead dragon person. It's not very clearly defined actually.
Mystery costume.
Mystery dragon person undead thing. And he's kind of like sort of leading you toward the across the square toward where the archway is for to enter the night circus. And he pauses beforehand and he looks back at you all just before he's like just sort of questioning. He's like, and he's like sort of so it's just like just sort of now he puffs up his chest and he's like now starts like raging like a monster sort of as he's going in. And you see once again the lights of this carnival, this night circus. Many tents around. And toward the center, the largest tent. Reaching up, it's like multiple stories toward the sky. And you see there's this long line of people waiting to get in. There are people juggling here. There are people on unicycles. There are people juggling on unicycles. There are a number of
juggling unicycles.
There is one person juggling unicycles. It looks terribly dangerous, so yeah, you're kind of, I presume, heading toward the tent.
Well, we're just following the mime, I think.
Yeah.
I think we're hoping that we don't have to stand in that line if we're with the mime.
No, he's not heading toward the line. He's heading toward the he's heading around back. Yeah, Shantano, you have the sense, sort of now that you're back in here, as to, there's probably going to be some kind of a little trick to deal with once when you go into the tent. And you've got, you at least should be able to navigate it. As you come around, you see that there are a number of what look like clowns and acrobats and things, people in all manner of costumes, just sort of like getting ready. So some of them are hanging outside smoking. A couple of them look over. They're watching. They're looking at the mime. Someone just carrying like a big sword sort of leans up. Sort of looks like a big scimitar. And is sort of looking at the group of you. And sort of strokes his chin. He looks like he's in sort of ghoulish makeup. He just kind of looks at everyone here, and he's sort of, his eyes go over Shantano a couple of times, who's like, actually, he sort of will wander forward and he'll be like, hey, what's the deal here? And the mime will be like, And this guy will be like, does anybody know what he's saying?
I'm sorry, what do you mean? What's the deal here?
Are you folks new?
Well, yeah, it's the first day. You were told to dress as something that was scary, and well, this guy over here believes that there's nothing scarier than an American tourist, and can't say I disagree.
Okay, this gentleman is a. These guards are basically going to be a challenge of 3. And what would you like to present to help this out?
Mac is going to use Spirit of the Orator.
Excellent. Can you remind me what level that is?
So that is a level 5 ability.
Okay, you can just probably that'll do it.
Basically, it just adds 3 enhancements to my interaction pool.
Okay, that's right. It does. It's a secondary thing that'll pull up. Okay, okay. So you're not.
Yeah, so my interaction is now 7.
Okay, that's a lot. So for those of us who might remember this, as far as spending from the pool, is this like multiple things can be spent, or is there just
You can
one
only
from a
spend
pool?
one from the pool, and you
That's
can
right.
spend it to either up your venture or you can spend it to change your effect.
Okay. So do you want to spend one from the pool that you've increased just now to
Yes.
knock it down? Okay, that'll knock it down to a 2. Is there anything else you want to use or reference, or does anyone want to help?
Are we just trying to convince him that we're
You're basically you're trying to convince these guards to let you in.
I can help by starting to act very impatient and be like, we have a call time we have to get to. If you want to make us late and deal with the people who are going to be angry when we're late, that's fine. I think that can give him another 1 or give 1 more to venture if I
Given
just make a scene.
Yeah, given the way in which you're referencing the lateness and the rather close relationship you have with a being that is dedicated to the very essence of stamping out lateness, I think we can definitely give you that. So that'll be 1 or better.
Okay.
You got a 1. There you go.
Whoa.
Why did it roll twice? That's weird.
Oh wait, it did roll. Well,
No, that was your earlier roll.
Yeah, the earlier roll was for
That
the.
was your second roll.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, the first roll was for Sagan affecting the non-dice.
That's right. Okay.
Well, yeah, no. So he's like, yeah, okay, all right, yeah, hurry up, and he sort of will. He'll open the flap, and you'll be issued inside. And now I'm going to draw a card. And the card that I have drawn is the sealed door.
Why?
Why does this happen? Why MCG? 7 of secrets. Silver is up, gold is down. Meanings are delay. Inaction barriers unchanging. Okay. So, Upon entering the big top, you're going to come into sort of this backstage area where I think yeah, I'm actually gonna this is how I shall interpret this. You're coming to a backstage area. It looks like there are people running around getting ready. Some folks are still putting on makeup. You can hear that there is music playing, and somewhere up front that you get this sense. There's sort of this heady kind of just smell in the air. The sort of this atmosphere that it's a little musty, but you get the sense there are a lot of people in here. That are probably in risers on another level above you, and you see it's very it's very dark. The walls are black, but there are there's enough light to see people running back and forth. You see someone is basically trying to cram someone else into a cannon. Right now, that's getting ready to be wheeled on stage, you see the mime is now started to, as soon as he gets in, and he's starting to look around the room. And what would you like to do?
Where should we look for him first?
Well, if you were going to trap a maker here in this big top, where would you do it? Maybe they have a prop room.
I mean, that seems likely. Or like an apparatus room.
Shantanu, you feel as though you know where these places are. That they are referencing.
Okay. So I feel like I know where we are.
Yeah, you've got a very good sense of where you are exactly right now, and you know that that probably you're thinking that if they're looking for some sort of room with props or apparati, that aside from the ones that they'd have up here, there are a bunch of mechanisms underneath the stage. So that's probably more what they'd be looking for.
Like, for some reason, I feel I know that there's like machinery and stuff under the stage. Does that seem like somewhere a maker would like to be?
Well, I'd like to be there. So maybe? I mean, that's where I'd go. How do we get there?
No. You see, this is where the interesting thing is, because Shantanu, you'd be able to get there pretty much instantly because, for a couple of reasons. But again, because you only know where it is because you have that kind of cosmic sense of how to navigate this place in the in terms of interacting with the essence of it. So you could get there immediately if you wanted to. Mundanely, you'd probably have to look for a way down if you wanted them to be able to get there.
And I can get there now, but I don't think I can get you all there down. Just try to travel. Just take the long way.
Well, could you pop down there and see if he's there? And if he is, then just pop right back.
Sure. So is like, are there like people? How close are we to like the main stage right now?
It's not very far. You've got basically there are a few different. So there are multiple backstage areas because this is a very large structure. But so where you are right now, there are corridors which are going to lead off to sort of concealed areas. But where you are here is fairly close. There is there's kind of a 3/4 thing, where you can access the stage from different parts. You're sort of directly in the opposite to where the entrance, where the main entrance is. So you're sort of very much sort of the backstage, upstage area, not stage left or right. And this cannon, when it gets wheeled out, there's a mechanism that's probably going to open in a moment, and the cannon's going to head right out onto this side of the stage. It's probably contained within the stage itself. There's a lot of mobile things going on, and actually, hovering and things of that nature as well, because magic. The stage itself, you haven't seen it, but your understanding is that there are 3 rings out there.
Right. Okay.
So that cannon will probably end up in the closest ring.
And I'm trying to see. Are people like paying a lot of attention to us because we look weird or because we're new?
A little bit, but not much. It's mostly they pay attention to you to move around you.
Okay.
Do you think we can get Shantano into the cannon? I mean, when it fires, he can just break and, just look like an effect from the cannon?
See, I was thinking if I get hit by the person in the cannon and explode, then I look like a part of the show.
Would that help us find the foreman?
It'll help me get down there with the least amount of I don't know, suspicion.
I mean, I guess I don't know how this audience would respond to a cannon shooting at an American tourist, though.
I can't see the audience. Can you? Because we're backstage.
Yeah,
right?
not from here. Yeah, you can hear them, and you can kind of smell them, but you can't see them from where you are.
Well, the audience at the last place was invisible, so
The magician's audience didn't seem to be too squeamish.
he was also evil. So is the mime still around?
Yeah, the mime's still around. The mime is looking for a way down. He's been sort of looking sort of around behind some things.
I'm gonna tap the mime on the shoulder and be like, "Are any of your other coworkers evil, or was it just the magician?"
I mean,
Hard to say. Okay, I don't know then.
it's the
Seems
Church
like a
of
really-
Midnight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but the mime isn't evil. I don't think you're evil. Are you evil? The mime is not evil. So there could just be some people who are just doing this because it's a job and they didn't know that the circus was evil.
Fair. Good point.
Okay. Oh, wait. Is there? He's gonna look. Mac is just gonna look at the crew manning the cannon.
Yeah, there's basically the person at the one of the stagehands has just finished like using some kind of a plunger to finish shoving someone in there, and is now stepped down, and there's someone wearing a just wearing a sparkly outfit who is now standing nearby, and just sort of like. Just kind of stretching and kind of doing this thing where they're like la 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 la. They're kind of doing that thing. Yeah, doing that thing. They're painting the ceiling.
Is anybody watching him?
I mean that one stagehand was for a moment, and then is just kind of like. It looks like they're waiting for a cue of some kind. As stagehand is moving over to a lever. By the wall, and just standing there for a second. It looks like they're waiting for something.
I don't know. Maybe Shantanu should just. Oh, okay. No, this is what I'm going to do. So Mac is just going to go over to the guy who's sort of stretching. He's like, hey, are you the guy who's going to be firing this cannon?
And he sort of turns around. Yeah?
How good is your aim? So I got this crazy idea for a stunt.
I mean, I'm supposed to get him in the net. And the net's... I'm okay. What kind of stunt?
So, you see this dork over here, and he's just gonna point to Shantanu as the American tourist.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Isn't that horrible? I feel like the audience would really, really like it if you aim the cannon at him.
We're gonna scar this poor circus worker for life.
I mean, does he? I mean, are they going to be okay if?
Oh yeah. He'd be fulfilling a lifelong dream if we actually got him to perform like this.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, if I don't know. So we'd have to like get them up on like a platform or something so that maybe they're in the way. Yeah, like maybe like they're standing in front of the net, because I just want to make sure that. I mean,
yeah.
They're okay.
We totally
He's pointing to the cannon.
Yeah, that's a good point. Although, what if the other option would be to give that guy a break and launch the tourist out of the cannon instead?
Oh my gosh. I mean, do you think they go for that?
Oh yeah, totally.
I guess we could give it a try.
You gotta hurry though, because isn't your cue like almost?
Yeah, it's probably in a sec. Let me see though. I mean, he's pretty well packed in there. Sort of comes around, and he's going to. He's going to. Come look over. Hey, Hey, Ezra, you okay in there? I think we actually you're not going to believe this. We've got someone actually volunteering. What? Yeah. No, it'll be okay. I think it looks like. I mean, you got to see what this. You got to see what they're wearing. I mean, yeah, I guess we could do it that way. We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to pack them down in there on the stage. That's all we'll have time for. Is that okay? He's looking up over at Shantanu.
Yeah,
That works.
I think that'll work.
All right, hang on. And at this point, he's like, he just looks over at the stagehand. He's like, hey, come on. And the stagehand's like, what the? Stomps over. Here, let me help me get her out. And sort of was like, no, this is gonna be great. Lowers this little hook in, which they sort of pull out, and you see this bedraggled, thin young lady also wearing a sparkling cape and helmet. You're like, I mean, and she looks over. You sure you want to do this? Over at Shantanu.
Yeah,
Oh
sounds
my
fun.
God! You sure you want to do this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds very fun.
Yeah. And you know what would be really great, Shantanu, is if you be really, really rude to the audience, because they're just going to want to see you get launched out of this cannon. And when you do that thing, they're just going to cheer wildly. It'll be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, like, oh yeah, like I'll pretend to be climbing up in, and you can come and shove me out of the way or something.
Works for me.
And the guy is like, Israel, you sure you can be? Oh, I'm fine. Okay, fine. And you hear this. Then a drum roll starts. He says, "All right, well, get up here." And the stagehand rushes back to the lever. What's everyone else doing? Just so that I'll know.
I hope they're looking at me in horror with this crazy idea.
Especially since we know that the plan is for Shantanu to shatter. It's like we're gonna scar them all for life.
This can't possibly fail. All right. So
I think this is just too big to fail.
That's right. So the drum roll starts, and the section of the stage opens up, and for a moment you all can see in there this big arena with a lot of people sitting and clapping. And you see basically, ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful Israel. And you see this whole thing where where everyone's slowly applauding, and this platform drifts out. And they've left the thing open so you can kind of still see out sort of what's happening. As this platform drifts up into this, there's this concentric and up into this. There's these not exactly concentrics, perhaps the wrong term. Maybe it is. These hoops basically that are hovering in midair around each other. And you see the platform drift up in between the gap. As these big metal rings that are drifting around each other and through each other. And there are they're essentially making these spheres in midair. There are 3 of these spheres in midair. Shantanu, you are now on this hovering platform high above this arena full of people inside this massive tent. And you can see in one of the other rings that is actually made up of concentric rings that are moving and shifting around each other. You can see this net that the spotlight has fallen on. And you see Isra now is sort of standing and she's waving. And she's moving toward the front of the cannon.
Right. So I think Shantanu is gonna try to. I'm gonna try and act it out. Just walk out there very gaudily, half Western, half, almost like I'm walking out of a spaghetti Western movie, And then just talk to her and like, "Do you speak American?" And then never mind, just shove them out the way and start looking into the cannon.
And so you start looking in, and then the guy comes around, and they both, the two of them, are like sort of are going to pick you up and shove you into the cannon. Oh, folks, that looks like someone's in trouble. You hear this announcer, this bodiless announcer say. And then the drum roll starts up again. It's very cramped and very dark in here. And you hear, "Let's count them down, folks." You see them going over to pull this big string on the back of the cannon as they just sort of crank it up and just sort of are aiming it toward this other net. 3, 2, 1. And Shantanu is blasted out of a cannon towards this net, soaring through the air.
What kind of roll do I have to make this a perfect dismount?
So that was going to be my question. So I think to pull this off in a way that it looks like it's part of the show, because you're going to explode when you get there, right? Or you're going to do something when you get there. I think to pull this off is going to be so that it looks like you'll be able to do it, but to pull it off so that you're aiming properly and it looks like part of the show, I'm going to give this a difficulty of 5.
5.
So what do you want to bring to this? What being fired out of a cannon skills would you like to bring to this?
I don't know if survival would help. What?
I think it would probably help here, yes. Because if there's anything you want to survive, it's being shot out of a cannon. Did you accept the helmet, by the way? They were going to offer you a helmet.
Nah.
Okay. Yeah, flying without a helmet, great.
No,
okay.
you'd have to take off the American flag hat to do that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, that wouldn't do. They were going to toss one down there for you. Okay, so you've got, so it's down to 4. Anything else you'd like to use here?
I don't think lore, stealth, or searching. This has nothing to do with understanding people's motives or seeing through deception. So, no, I think I'm good.
You could probably spend a physicality or a movement bene if you wanted to take it down one more.
You could do that if you so desire.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So that'll bring it down to 3. And
Can any of us spend sortilege for this too? As if.
Yeah, if you want to just use the raw stuff of magic to make this seem like a more magical effect. And I mean, the thing is, Shantanu is going to be doing something magical, so you can always, so definitely.
All right, I will use a sortilege to help him out.
Okay, just sort of.
It was my idea.
What does this look like? What do you do when you to help the magic of this along?
So Mac is just going to reach up onto his shoulder and just give Sagan a scritch or something as he basically just wills a clear flight path for for Shantano.
Excellent.
And just hope that his body just doesn't ruin the aerodynamics of his trajectory.
So, Shantano, you now have the distinct sense that Mac is in your control tower, helping you to find the appropriate landing spot. All right. So the air ripples around you as you're hurtling through it toward this net, and you need a 2 or better.
Right.
Okay, so that's a 0. Sortilege has been spent, though, so you can have a second. I'm going to let you have a second die on this, if you so desire.
Yeah.
Okay, that's much better. Okay. So, because of this magical path that has been carved out, it now looks convincing when you fire across. Do you make it to the net? What does this look like?
So I think Shantano, he soars through, and they make it to the net. They climb out, waves to the crowd, gives 2 bows. On the second bow, they explode.
Perfect. Excellent. So everyone sees Shantano explode on the second bow, and the crowd is eating it up, and the 2 performers are like, just like, oh God, what did we do to him? And we dip down for a moment now beneath the stage, beneath the floor. And Shantano, you're going to materialize. And you see you're in an area, you're in a room with a draft table. You see you're in a room with stone walls, which is kind of weird. Well, kind of. This is one of those things where it's, different locations in different places, basically. You get the sense that you are in an area. This is a place. It is beneath the stage, but it is also connected to another place. You see there is a draft table. You see there is. You see there are a lot of. There's a lot of machinery down here. Some of it is moving around. A lot of big gears. Doing different things. A lot of levers and pulleys and various control panels down here. You're on like a catwalk and you look down and you see there's more of it down below you. This incomprehensible almost amount of machinery. It's very strange because you know that some of that, as you're looking down, you realize only part of it is for this big top. Not very much of it, actually. Just mostly some of the stuff immediately up here. The rest of it stretches into some kind of weird, almost like other realm as you look down below you. You see there are a number of staircases or stairways that go from different points in the catwalk up.
Okay.
And some that go down. And above you there is a ceiling, and you can still faintly hear the sounds of the circus from above you.
So is anyone in there?
You hear people walking around. You haven't seen anyone immediately in front of you yet. You get the sense there is, next to the draft table, there is what looks like a coffee mug. And there is steam rising up from it.
Well, I guess I'll just go looking around for a bit till I can see if I can find the. Oh gosh, what was his name again?
You want okay? So you're looking for the foreman.
The foreman, yes.
Okay. So I know I just wanted to. I was just checking see what you were looking for. Okay. So as you're sort of wandering around looking for the foreman, and you are going to find. You see this. I don't think have you met the foreman before? And it doesn't necessarily have to have been in during these sessions because you've been around the neighborhood. I just am curious.
Or just in passing.
Okay. So after a little while, it doesn't take too long. It takes you like a minute or two. You look around and you see that he's down a couple of levels. You can actually see there's this kind of it's not exactly a chamber because it's not closed. But it's another area, kind of like this one, another drafting area. Actually, it looks like an area where there are a number of cages. And you can see that he is talking to two people wearing, they're dressed sort of dourly. They're wearing black. And he seems to be just sort of like animatedly, talking about something. As they're just sort of like impassively looking at him and nodding.
You said they're in cages?
There are cages there.
Oh, okay.
They are empty cages.
Interesting. Does it seem like he wants to be there?
It's hard to tell. He's not happy right now. But at the same time, it's hard to tell when he is happy. He seems to be complaining about something. But he doesn't look like he's a prisoner exactly, but they are kind of half watching him, so maybe he is. It's hard to say.
Okay.
He's certainly not being, he's not in a cage or chained up or anything.
I guess I'm going to look for the way back then, since we at least know that that's where he is.
Okay.
And to make sure I don't get caught, I'm going to use my spell, Pass Through the Crowd. So it's a +1 die. It says I can move unnoticed through a crowd or down a city street if I'm alone or mostly alone and not, or mostly alone and not in a city street.
So I'm going to say for the purpose of this that you're able to activate it. There aren't too many people around right up on your level right now. So I'm not going to make you roll for this one right now. But you activate that. And no one looks in your direction. There are a couple of people just sort of wandering around working, but they don't notice you. And after a little bit, you do find this wooden staircase that sort of that kind of twists up a little bit to a trap door that seems to be, you think, about the one you're looking for. Because it's up here. You still have that sense of kind of where things are in the circus, so you know that trapdoor does lead back to backstage.
All right, I'll take the trapdoor and I'll find everyone else.
Okay, so you unlatch it and you open it up, and you're gonna come out over by basically it looks like there are several props and such here, and there and sort of like stage props or stage set props that sort of things that you'd have like big sort of again sort of boxes, steps, big rubber ball type things. Well, not rubber ball, big spheres, things that you would balance on. And you see there are a few acrobats in here just sort of hanging out and trying to rolling globes. That's what those were the words I was looking for. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. They're sort of hanging out and practicing with them, but they don't seem to pay you any notice.
Okay. So yeah, I guess I just found my way back.
Yeah, you look and you can see kind of the there's a corridor, and then you can see the area where you came in. So presumably, if you follow it, then Shantanu, you will see Shaw and Mac and Aroshka are like they're backstage. What have you folks? You're probably there talking to these two entertainers who have been wheeled back in with looks of kind of horror on their face. They're like, "Where did he go? How did that work?" The mime is like trying to comfort them.
Just went to a special place. He'll be back someday.
And this Shantanu comes out from the back.
Still dressed as a tourist?
Yeah, unless you changed when you shattered, it's up to you.
Yeah, probably reassembled into my normal garb.
Yeah. So no longer.
Someday, Mac will say in a very ominous tone.
Oh no.
But thank you for freeing his tortured soul in such a flamboyant and memorable manner.
Oh no. They're like, and she's like, and
Come on, everybody,
the
let's
guy
get
is
going.
like, oh my god.
Yeah, we should really probably find someplace to think about what's happened.
Yeah.
She sort of turns around. It's like,
So we're going to turn around and we're going to
Walk towards Shantanu.
we're going to walk towards Shantanu and just try
Yeah.
to
yeah.
look as inconspicuous as possible.
Yeah, the mime is distracting them right now. So
Like overhearing what you said, if I could have heard any of that, and like, should we tell them I'm okay?
Shaw will just cross her arms and look at the ground and pretend like she didn't hear anything.
Hello? Am I okay?
I'm sure you're fine. I
Oh.
presume you were asking Mac.
I thought for a second there that Mac was right, and that maybe I would come back someday.
I think you're back. I'm sure they'll be fine.
Right. Oh well, I found the foreman. There's a trap door.
Can we get him out?
Oh, he was arguing about something, and he has a bunch of big cages.
Oh,
Pretty sure that means something to you.
well. I mean, they're not Gowler cages, or else the Gowler would have to be right next to them.
He was talking with someone, or arguing.
But you didn't hear what they were saying?
Nah, I didn't want to risk interfering just yet.
Got it. Well, what do you think we should do? Do Do you think we can go down and hear what's happening? Or do you think we'd be seen?
There's not a lot of people down there, so should be relatively fine, I guess.
Okay. Well, lead on.
Right. I'll just take us back to the trapdoor.
Okay. Yeah, Shantanu takes you back down the corridor and off to the sort of the side of this room where full of rolling globes and other acrobatic props, and over to this trap door that you all descend, and onto these series of catwalks, looking down into what looks like an infinity of machinery beneath you, which stretches on for quite a ways. This looks, it's very strange. This cannot be part of the same thing. And yet it seems to be somehow. On these, different catwalks going down to different areas.
I think that I'll immediately start trying to analyze the machinery.
So, okay. This is going to be one of those things where I'm just going to ask to see what you roll and give information commensurate with that. This is kind of I will say, I will say this is a thing. If you want to spend on this, you can. I'm going to tell you right out the gate, the difficulty of comprehending what this entire thing is probably going to be like a 10.
Okay.
You're going to get some information regardless, probably, depending on how well you roll.
All right. I would like to... Can I apply my connections to the Order of Makers?
Yes.
Can I apply all 3 points of my connection with the Order of Makers?
Yeah, I can let you do that, yeah.
And metalwork, which I have 1.
Yeah, that'll give you, we can do that.
Shoot. I also, what else do I have? I have a cribbage game. That's not gonna help me. I have I have a connection with craftspeople, but I think that's just craftspeople.
I think that the information you would get from your connection to your order is probably going to be more specific toward this than that would be.
So that's -4. I can add an. I'm gonna add a sortilege to try and get 2 dice to roll to hit this.
So what kind of way are you making this magical?
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my hands and I'm gonna put them up to my eyes and that like weird upside down glasses thing. And as I do, like a sheen is going to go over between my fingers and it's going to allow me to see the working of things better.
Okay.
So I guess I brought it down to a 6 and I have 2 dice to roll.
Yeah, you do.
Okay. I got a 5 and a 6.
All right. You have... So... You have heard stories about what this might be. This is one of those things which it's never clear whether it's actually supposed to exist, or not. And so you're not entirely sure that this is what that is, because if that's not supposed to exist, then this might be something else that is just very similar to that. This has, from what you're given to understand, if this is what you're thinking perhaps this might be, it has a number of different things that it is called by different people. So one of the things that you've heard this referred to as is just sort of the endless machine. Another term you've heard for it is the unrelenting engine. It is what is supposed to be a hypothetical realm. That kind of taps into the nature of the workings of things. It's something folks who have been to the Blue talk about. It's kind of like it's almost like a high concept thing that some folks have encountered, like pieces of maybe in the Blue. This is so you're not so if this is what you're looking at, then one thing you know is that if the machinery is infinite, you're only catching a very small sliver of it. But this is kind of for makers like it's like seeing the Loch Ness Monster or Santa Claus, or you know, or the Krampus, or you know, this is like this is a hypothetical thing people talk about. This is a thought construct.
Right.
It's not necessarily supposed to exist. But there it is.
And does it seem to serve a purpose beyond going on forever?
This part of it. This part of it, where you are now, works in service of, to a certain extent, it operates some of what's going on in the Big Top. but it seems as though it's like... Yeah, it's hard to discern exactly what... Because different parts of it are doing different things. And it's like things that are attached... Not everything is necessarily attached directly to everything in this machine. But... I mean, you know, there are plenty of philosophical things, treatises about what the endless machine does. The parts that you're looking at right now, it looks like they have to do, actually, you'll probably work out more of this as you see more of it.
Okay.
So it's gonna, so like, right in this moment, you're not going to get all of it, but as you move through this, you might see some things that will kind of be like, okay, this is for that and this is for that type deal. Right now, though, you're just like, it's like, oh, this looks a lot like this. And it's hard to discern just from here, up just at the entrance, like, you know, which part way down there that's not very well lit is doing this one thing that this other part that's also not very well lit is not necessarily connected to, that kind of deal.
Okay, I think that I will fail to really relay any of this to my friends. I will simply just be like, oh my gosh, it can't be. And like start kind of walking along, tracing metalwork and gear things. Pretty oblivious to anything else that I was doing before.
Yeah, so everyone else also basically sees this place, and it's kind of, it is impressive, but it seems to be holding Shaw's attention very particularly.
Oh, this feels familiar.
It feels familiar. Have you seen it before?
No, I was actually referring to this feeling where I felt pretty regularly when I was in Shadow, in which I felt remarkably mundane, and my peers around me seemed to all have much more interesting shit going on.
This shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
didn't
pretty
that
funny
thing
because
in my house that blew up wasn't supposed to exist either?
No.
Yeah.
Not like it shouldn't exist. Like there's things in Saturn that shouldn't exist. Like it shouldn't exist. It's like if a cat walked up to you and it was wearing a tag that says, "Hello, I'm owned by Schrodinger," it just doesn't exist. It's just an idea. It's not a thing.
well,
Harushka, that
Normally,
does sound
I
a lot
would- I
like
would be
your etheric nexus.
I'm like sitting here, I'm like,
I mean-
I kind of think that might also be true of the thing that was in my house.
yeah, and yet, you know, Aroshka was old. Aroshka 1.0 was able to create an etheric nexus in the basement of her house.
That angel was like, what the fuck?
Shaw, did they tell
I
you
know.
about the etheric nexus? Or is this the first time you're hearing about it?
Oh, that's true. We might never have told Sean.
I don't think you told me about it. You just told me that your house had some problems.
Oh,
An etheric nexus is a very yeah.
I was like, Sean, do you know what an etheric nexus is?
I presume I know that an etheric nexus is an impossible thing.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I had one in my house. That's the thing that blew up. Apparently, I built it. Yeah.
Did you make it with Gilda?
inside it.
Apparently, yes.
Yeah, and you know, Shantano over there was inside it. So
Yeah, which
Oh.
we've been informed was a bad idea.
I
Oh,
almost died.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's like hypothetically, Shah. Yeah, the one thing you're not supposed to do with an etheric nexus is go through the middle of it.
Right. Well, okay. Well, I guess it's everything is possible day.
And now, actually, as you all are moving through this and you're looking down, you can see where certain parts of this machine could be geared toward the stirring of the ether, which is like insane, but there it is.
Oh, good. We're working with ether again.
Everything works with ether.
There is a there is a little workshop area with a draft board that you folks are getting closer to, which Shantano, you were in before. There is now someone sitting at the draft board, holding the cup of coffee and working.
So, Shaw, before we venture any deeper into this impossible of impossible things, is there a rule that we should be aware of so that certain members of our party do not,
Climb into the middle of the nexus?
Yes.
Well,
Fun until you almost get eaten.
There is like this. There are sayings about don't get crushed in the gears.
Yeah. Do you know where the word sabotage comes from?
Don't get crushed seems like obvious.
Sabotage comes from the wooden shoe, the sabot, because workers threw their shoes into the machines to break the factory. Don't do that. Because if the machine is the endless machine, then we don't know what it's connected to. And if we stop the machine, we don't know what will affect. So, much like any machines, keep your fingers, loose clothing, jewelry away from the moving bits. I think that's it.
Right. Yeah, so Mac is actually going to get rid of his costume in that case because, you just see Mac just start disrobing out of the costume into his more usual practical outfit. Like, I probably don't need this anymore then.
You unwerewolf yourself.
He unwerewolves and just tosses it into the garbage somewhere. I'm like, I guess we'll just deal with escaping this place.
There are bins you can check it in.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't get really small and try to go into the machine then?
No, that would be
Terrible idea.
that would not help us do what we're trying to do.
All right, maybe another day.
All right. Is the person at the draft table the foreman, or are they someone else?
It's the foreman.
Okay.
You recognize him from behind.
Is there anyone else around?
Not right now, no. I mean, there are other people. You can hear them on the catwalk, not terribly far away.
Okay.
But they're probably on levels other than what you're on right now.
Can I just walk up behind him?
Yeah.
Tap him on the can I look at what he's sketching?
I'm going to draw a card.
Damn it.
Okay. So, I've drawn the ambassador. This is the adaptive visions. Meanings are diplomacy, reason, discussion, and intelligence. My God. Okay. He's drawing something that's kind of similar in design to that helmet-like thing that he had on his other drawing board. But This one, there are like 2 images of these apparati that look like they must be paired with each other in some way.
I just look at it for a while and then say, I see you decided you needed 2 helmets instead of 1.
He turns around. What the hell are you doing here?
We've come to take you home.
You can't be here.
Neither can you. Your mother is worried. The tower is unstable.
Oh, crap. But my mother. Wait, you mean who I think you mean?
I, in fact, believe that I do.
Wonderful. That's the last thing we needed. We need is get her involved in this. Look. You've got to get out of here.
I know. We're taking you with us.
I don't know if that's a good idea. Look, there's a lot going on here right now, okay?
Like the fact that you're standing inside the endless machine?
Yeah, I know. I don't know when they're going to be coming back, but they'll probably be back. They're probably going to be back real soon. So
just come with us.
And if they find me, well, yeah, but if they find me,
Okay, so I understand that he's really important because, you know, the Jenga tower and all that, but wouldn't they just come after him at the Jenga tower once he escaped? Like,
that's kind of one of my questions as to what to wear. Are we going to go run somewhere?
I don't know. What do they want you for?
And, he says, well, I haven't exactly put it all together myself, but it's, I think part of it is they've got me trying to figure out something that I think you might have been peripherally involved in at one point in some project or other. I don't know exactly what it is. But they got me working with, this thing is supposed to, he says, gesturing, yeah, this isn't exactly what I was trying to make before. He says, gesturing to the draft table. This hooks up to a prison system. Cages. And they've got some test cages down there a little bit of a ways. They're trying to talk to something or someone. I don't know who.
That's in a cage. And
Yeah,
you're
apparently.
helping them.
It's like, it's a little complicated. But, it's, as far as I can tell, this device can't be used, that this thing I'm designing for them can't be used to harm anybody. It's just a communication device. And they're calling it like some form of therapy or something. I don't know exactly what it is, but the thing is that it's I'm doing this so they do not come after you.
Why would they come after me?
I don't know. You designed something a while back, apparently.
I mean, apparently we all designed something a while back. Maybe somebody shouldn't have made it so we didn't remember the things we did then.
Yeah, it'd be nice,
Designed
wouldn't
a lot
it?
of things a while back.
But I mean, if they see you here, I don't know what they're gonna do.
Fine. Fine. If you want to stay and help them make prison interrogation machines, that's your business.
It's not like I want to stay.
Well,
Can you at least transfer ownership of your tower to,
Yes.
I don't know, maybe Shaw so that she can control it?
Just don't want them out here finding me missing. I mean, here's the thing: if they find me missing, I don't know who they're gonna. If they find me missing, they're probably gonna hurt people, and I do not want that to happen. I cannot have that on my conscience.
Fine.
Aren't they hurting people already?
Yes.
There's all those disappearing tourists.
I'm trying. I'm hoping I can slow him down some.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, I can do the thing. I can do a thing with the tower.
You... Mac could keep an eye on your tower.
what?
Well, you need a place to call your own, and if he's going to be down here, you could call that your own. I mean, you're welcome to stay with me, but if you don't want to be around me anymore, I understand.
I didn't say that. I just, just had a lot of time to think inside those steamer trunks lately.
I'm sorry, my housekeeping is finicky. But
I think Mac is just trying to say that they feel that they're imposing upon you and would rather not. Not that they don't enjoy your company.
okay, fine. Foreman, look. I don't understand what you're doing here, and I don't understand how this machine is here. If you work faster, is it going to be better for the world or worse for the world?
I'm hoping it's going to be better.
Fine. She reaches into her pocket and she just like unceremoniously thunks the viewfinder on the table. I made it. It works.
Oh my god.
You said it would help you fix whatever you were trying to fix.
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Does it help?
It does. It does.
Fantastic.
It'll. Shaw, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to drag you into this. I really didn't.
Apparently I started in it, so okay. That's fine.
Look.
Impossible machines. Things I don't remember doing. It's a lovely day. I had a wonderful tea today. I will note. I'm grateful for tea.
Look, I'm.
Like, take a deep breath, close her eyes, and like shimmy her posture a little bit.
Look, I'm gonna try. These people. There's probably. Look, thank you for coming out. Thank you for coming after me. I don't know exactly what can be done with all of this. I'm gonna try to get out. I don't know. I don't know exactly what's gonna happen. There might be a way.
Do you think it would be a good idea to sabotage them?
Well, if they start turning any of this stuff toward some kind of greater harm, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try my damnedest.
Do you have a way to get a message to us if you need our help?
You know, it's kind of.
I think I might be really good at sabotaging things if you decide to do that.
I'll say, gotta be careful about talking about sabotage in this place. But listen, I wait a minute. And he sort of looks at you for a second. Are you? Oh crap! The both of you are here. You've gotta get the hell out of here right now. I don't know exactly what all of it is, but one thing I do remember in all of this, some of your old work, is that she was involved.
Wait. So we were both working with Gilda.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe not directly, but yeah. Look, I wish I could remember more about this. Look,
He should go find Gilda.
Look, what was that? What was that? You were trying to... As very dangerous trying to do this kind of thing, but there was some kind of message you were trying to send me earlier. What was it? I didn't quite catch it.
Oh. That was you?
Yeah, you were trying to reach me or something.
I I was in the hospital, and they asked if there was anyone that I should contact, and so they said that the system would send a message to whoever needed to know that I was in the hospital, and so I just sent a message, and it said undeliverable.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to get
Foreman was your
messages down here.
emergency contact?
Are you okay?
Yes.
I feel a little hurt now.
Yeah, I'm fine. I recovered. There was this thing, this seeker. It's a long story. There was a street that was not there. Do you know there was a street that was not there? Did you know there was a street that was not there? Because we seem to be the only people who noticed that there was not a street where there was supposed to be a street. But we all noticed.
So.
I'm going to be honest with you. The last few weeks, I've seen so much weird crap.
Okay, you didn't notice there was a street missing. That's fine. That's fine. But yes, I guess you were my emergency contact. So I guess if I need to get a hold of you again, I just run into a wall and go to the hospital.
Don't do that.
And I can send a message from there.
No, don't. And if you'll consent, he'll actually put his hand on your shoulder. If you consent, if not, then he won't.
Yeah, she'll look at him a little weird, like, the fuck are you doing?
Listen, I don't want you to get into any more trouble on my account, all right?
Your house is going to fall on my mind.
There's a thing I can do to fix that, but
You're helping the bad guys that are trying to kill my friend. Or harm my friend.
there.
Do you know what we call
Exactly.
people who help the bad guys? We call them bad guys.
Wait, who are they trying to hurt?
Our friend Vormera.
Look, there's a lot to look. These people, they're not just one thing, okay? And I don't know that they're the same ones who are trying to hurt her. There's apparently they're a freaking Hydra, okay?
Hydras are always good. All right. Fine. We tried to save you. You don't want to be saved. That's fine. I understand you do not consent to the rescuing. That is okay. You have the thing that I promised I would make for you, and we will decide what we want to do about people in cages on our own. But we will leave now because you seem to think that we are out.
No, before we go, we got to get this tower thing straightened out. What are we going to do with it?
All right. Who wants to? God, I can't believe I'm saying this. Who wants to be in charge of the damn tower?
Does it have to be a maker? There's a spirit who's holding it up right now.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a maker. It can. I mean, it helps, but it doesn't have to be.
Mac, do you want to be in charge of the tower?
Mac is just going to look at the other two options who could take charge of it. So he just glances at Shantano. And then he glances at Aroshka.
Who's doing this?
There's just a slight pause. I'm like, well, I guess so. My other option is to ask Karen if I can move into one of her houses.
She loves us.
All right, I'll take a hold of it for now. But,
All right, there is a certain
This isn't over.
responsibility inherent in this, just so you're aware.
Oh, and Mac just starts feeling around and pulls out a pen and paper and says, Sagan, make sure you remember everything.
He says, he's reaching into his pocket and he says, well, I mean, a lot of it has to do with the tenants, but, you know, it's just basically keeping them moving around. There's a lot to deal with right now. God.
Tenants?
Yeah, it's a long story. But if my progenitor is up and about, then I feel like it's probably not gonna. The tower might not be necessary for much longer. Also, if she's up and about, then I'm probably not going to be down here much longer either. But we'll have to figure that out. Look, he says, and he's taking out a ring of keys and he's going through them. Time's going to probably come pretty soon. I might need a rescue, but right now I'm trying to stop them. I'm trying to stop them. And I don't want you getting hurt. And he says he looks up specifically at Shaw when he says that.
She just laughs. I'm a lot tougher than you think.
Yeah. I mean, still doesn't help me not wanting you to get hurt. And he takes and he eventually takes this smaller key ring that's on the bigger key ring off. And they have this strange sort of crystalline quality to these keys. And he says, as he's preparing to hand them to Mac, this is temporary.
Oh, yeah, of course.
No, I'm telling you. And he holds the keys out to you. I'm gonna take these back at some point.
Yeah, I got you. And Mac accepts the key graciously, tries to hide a smile of glee.
When you take the keys, it's kind of like there is an additional octave that has opened up in the back of your brain, and there's now a pattern in it. Shifting. Jenga-like. This isn't the same spot that you looked and there was a thing in the darkness. This is different.
Oh. So he can see like the tower in his head in
Yes,
some
you
sense,
can.
or some sort of model.
Yeah.
Mac is just going to attempt to manipulate it a little bit by sliding a block from the bottom and then placing it on the top.
You start trying to do that, and it doesn't seem to be doing anything, and he kind of looks, he sees kind of what you're doing, he says, you gotta be there to do it.
Oh, okay. All right, well, we better get out of here.
And you actually do hear, the sound of someone approaching, and he says, he nods, he's saying, yeah, good idea.
Okay, we'll go. If we come back, we'll try and bring something that you can get a message out with.
Thank you. I do appreciate it.
All right, don't do anything stupid. Turn and leave.
I think I'm like, you just hear Mac just mutter, well, I think the time has passed for that.
Shovel, like, under her breath, be like, right? Like,
All right. And you make your way out. Shantano is able to guide you to a trapdoor that actually will lead outside of the tent, outside of the big top, if you so desire. And I think we're going to go ahead and call it there. right. Thank you for bearing with me on this one. This was a little bit longer, but we had to knock this out with the foreman. Let us go ahead and go around and do our joy and despair. I am going to award everyone an acumen for this little adventure, finding the foreman. And so let us now go around in our regular order. I will start with Shaw. Do you feel as though anything this session has given you joy or despair?
I'm so confused. I don't even know. I mean, I would say that, like, she would get joy from the experience of finding the foreman, but I think that she's just in a state of such despair from, like, Mac was really moody and said the thing about Shotno being right, and Shaw was like, oh my god, they're talking about me behind my back. They were never my friends. And, like, so she's, like, really alienated. And then like, she went to rescue the foreman and he was like, no, I'm sorry, no rescue. And, like, even though he was being really sweet and cryptic about it, at the same time, it's like, I fucking came all this way to rescue you. Like, I'm literally a knight in shining armor. Like,
this is true.
I'm covered in metal. And you were like, nah, thanks. So I think I get a despair.
All right. Despair for you. All right, and now let us move over to Shantano. And do you think that you might get joy or despair from this?
I don't know. I feel like exploding in front of a crowd would give Shantano joy.
I mean, it brought joy to so many.
You have to be fired out of a cannon.
It was definitely the best thing that happened today.
I mean, what more can you ask for? Really?
Shantano had a great day at the circus and doesn't know what any of these other people are talking about.
I know.
Two people think I'm dead. It's great.
Oh my god.
Don't let those poor circus performers think they killed you.
That's great. Oh my god. So now we will head over to Arushka.
Not only did we lead them to believe that they killed him, we also led them to believe that he will come back and haunt
them. Don't ever invite us to your circus, kids. Never, ever. Not even once.
Or parties. We're just not good for anybody's celebrations at all.
Maybe you should bring us to your parties.
I mean, it stops them from being boring.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, Aroshka was once again able to be useful via a mime.
This is true.
So I feel she's overall having a pretty good day.
So yes, you got through to the mime again. Yeah, so you think that's joy?
Yeah.
Okay. You have joy. And now over to Mac.
Yeah, this is definitely joy because he used his forte ability to do some really good things.
That's true. That's very true. It was... Managed to get to the heart of things here. All right. Okay.
The epilogue should be as Shah and Mac go back to the Jenga tower and the mine. Mac is actually just going to hold out his arms, just give Shaw a hug and say thanks for everything before he walks into the tower.
Anytime, neighbor.
It's a new tower overlord.
Apparently he's got tenants.
Yeah, I know. I really want to hear about the tenants.
Shaw's like, you should invite me over.
Yeah. I mean, Shaw is definitely gonna show up in like very short order with some geometric fruit and be like, "Do you mind if we just walk around and look at some stuff?"
I would
least you
totally
could
be
do.
over that. Yes.
Oh, the tower. There is so much. There is so much to explore.
This is way better than my original plan, which was to form an unholy alliance with Karen.
That's true. You've narrowly been saved from an alliance with Karen with the Homeowners Association.
I felt that would have been much more adversarial with Shaw.
But of course, Karen will sense a disturbance in the
Homeowners Association.
Yes.
Oh,
We'll know.
no. I can't imagine the first meeting.
Having now
Let's see what
experienced
that's-
the joys of a real homeowners association meeting, I can only imagine what Karen's would be like.
Oh yes. Very normal, perfectly normal. Awesome, folks. Well, thank you very much for playing. We're going to go ahead and go around and do our outros. And feel free to tell folks any final thoughts you have about this session and where folks can find you. And we will once again go reverse order. So we shall start with Anino.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Anino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino Gaming. Also, check out my landing page, which is aninogaming.com, which has all of my game schedules and links to the channels that I am on, as well as some highlights of recent role plays and such. Next week, I think the most noteworthy thing is that the Cyberpunk Red campaign that I'm in on the Wandering DM channel has gone weekly. So we'll be coming at you guys every Friday at 8 p.m. And things are really picking up. So watch me as I navigate a professional wrestler against the mega corporations.
Let me actually speak where you can hear me. Awesome. Any final thoughts on the session, or are we good?
I totally did not expect this session to go the way it did, which is makes for the best episodes of Invisible Sun. But I felt like the bond between, Mac and Shaw got explored some, as well as some good character development on Mac's personality and what he thinks and how he views everything. So this was great.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, and over to Arras.
Hello. I'm Arras or Animus Panthera, and I can be found as Animus Panthera or Animus.Panthera pretty much everywhere. But I'm mostly active on Twitter. I am a real life zoologist, and I like to talk about animals and tabletop gaming in cosplay. I'm currently, this year, I'm giving away a set of dice every month. So if you go hop over to my Twitter, it's like the second tweet. Yeah. If you want to enter for this month. The only place you can usually find me playing games is right here, playing Invisible Sun every Saturday. Although a week from tomorrow, on the 15th, I'm going to be running a one-shot also here. It's very spooky. So come see that.
Yay! Awesome. Were there any final thoughts on the session? Or are we good?
I think we pretty much covered everything with that.
Yeah, I think we did.
The canon.
I think what really can one say other than the canon?
Wow, the canon.
All right, and over to Wilde.
Yes, hi. I'm Wilde Engineer at Wilde Engineer on Twitch and Twitter. You could also find me on Saturdays earlier on Pro Restarter's channel, where I'm playing some D&D set in Tal'Dorei. Yeah, that's fun. Today was fun. I getting shot out of a cannon. Kind of sad I didn't get to go small and go into the endless machine.
Maybe next time.
Maybe. I'm kind of wondering what would have happened with that 0. And
Yeah, that luckily that was on the first die, so that so it wasn't flux. But had it been, oh, so many things.
well,
Awesome.
And I can't seem to figure out what Max said Shantano was right about, because Shantano's not right about a lot of things.
Interesting. It's hard to say. Well, one might discover. Let us head over to Djinnaya.
Hello, my name is Djinnaya, and you can find me at Djinnaya on everything. And I'm here every Saturday playing Invisible Sun. And I don't know, it's my birthday week, so I'll probably hang out for a little bit on my Twitch channel and do some drawing or play some speed dating for ghosts or something like that. So if you follow my very quiet Twitch channel, you will get a notification if I do that. And I don't know, today's session was a lot. It was a lot of things. Yeah, once again, not where I thought that was going. So, yeah, I'm kind of curious to see where it goes next.
Awesome. Me too. Well, that's that leaves me. I'm Jim. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and some of my fiction and games that I've been working on, along with links to game signups and applications to join our Discord. Tomorrow, we are doing a one-shot of Flat Pack, Fix the Future, which is basically young professionals going out from their from the tunnels underground where the human race has been surviving, going up top to try to build a new future in the excitement that follows the apocalypse. It's an optimistic post-apocalyptic game, and I'm very much looking forward to trying it out. Tomorrow night, we have the return of our Dark Matter campaign, Ghosts of Saltmaw, which is Ghosts of Saltmarsh in space, which I'm very excited for. Then on Tuesday in the afternoon, for this month, we start up this month's mini campaign, which is going to be Las Vegas, by James Wallace. It is a different kind of surreal game that uses tarot cards as a primary thing, and is very interesting in sort of the way that it tells a savage and bloody tale that takes place in a city kind of like Las Vegas, but also kind of not. And we're going to have fun digging into that. On Wednesday nights, we have our Masks campaign, Doctropolis, Rebels with a Cause, run by Mole. And then, of course, we come back around to Saturday, where we shall have more of this. And we shall see where these threads continue to lead. So I'm very much looking forward to it. We have sign-ups now open for Hill State University. That is the one-shot that a week from tomorrow that our Arras will be running, using the Rices system. So we have sign-ups for that. Soon there will be sign-ups, hopefully, for the Savage Worlds edition of Space 1889 that I'm going to run a one-shot of a little later in the month. For the one-shots, you can go down to RPG sign-up, click on RPG sign-up, or go to jimyesthatjim.com, click on Game sign-up. As always, beginners are welcome. So when we hit the end card, I am going to send a raid over to, let's see, let's raid this time. Let's raid Actual Play, because they are doing Girl Underground, which is a game that I recently saw an actual play of on Off the Table. It's kind of interesting. It's that genre of child gets lost in magical realm type thing. Basically, it's from that genre it tells that genre of story, and so it looks like it's probably going to be pretty cool. So we're going to go over and say hi to them. Feel free to hang on if you're so inclined and say hi to them with us. That again will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will see you next week. Farewell.